So my planned Sunday musing, I thought I was going to come out here and vent and talk about emotions. Right? But again, it's like the forest therapy took me somewhere else to a different type of sensory experience. So the first two videos are about that. I want to share my original thought that I've been thinking about since I've came back from Paris for my 50th birthday, and it was emotions, right? So I'll get back to the Paris in a minute, but I just want to touch on emotions for a minute. You know, when someone's trying to shut you up, or you see a lot of talk in business. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 something years, and I always call myself a left brain artist because I am very creative, but I am not a starving artist. I am an artist I'm very logical and strategic with my coin. So I'm going to create, and I am going to have systems in place. So I'm creative and I'm logical at the same time because it's possible. Yes, I have manifested in this earthly form as a woman. So my emotions are my more dominant trait, but I'm created in the likeness and the image of God. So I embody all of the attributes, logic as well. And I have to say that to my male friends, like, you have emotions as well, but your dominant trait may be more logical. And it does not mean to demonize the emotions, because we need the emotions. All the music that you listen to, someone poured their heart and soul into that soul. They poured that into that song. That's why you vibing with it a certain way. You're not a robot. So I don't like when people demonize emotions. Yes, sometimes we can be in our emotions and we can make decisions, or we can make choices that can have consequences to it, like anger. You know, even in the Bible it says, be angry, but sin not. But it's not saying to not feel that. And it seems like the more technology is evolving and the more we getting all these different think pieces, we're becoming more robotic, more like clone-like. Even art, all of the art is looking the same. Like, where is the creativity? We're regurgitating or saying the same exact things. It's like we're created by a creator and nobody's really creating. We're like copying and pasting because people don't want to feel. It's like an empathy, all of the things, right? So anyway, when I went to Paris, right, and I've always wanted to go to Paris, and I've always was talked out of going by myself because I love to solo travel, but when I said out loud that I was going to Paris, I think my brother at the time was like, no, you don't need to go to Paris by yourself. It's like, it's different when you go to islands. But you know, he's my baby brother. He's my baby big brother. He's my baby big brother because big tall football player looking guy, but he think he's the eldest. But anyway, I think he talked me out of it one time. Someone else talked me out of it. I think there was some type of bombing at a club. One time I had booked the trip, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go. And even this time, all of the things was happening with TSA, and they, you know, short staff and all the things with the flight. So I had to be really quiet because I'm like, I'm going to Paris for my 50th birthday, because years ago I always would say there's something there that God wants me to experience, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but you know, so anyway, life. And I end up just doing, like, I still go by myself, but I will do land type vacations. You know, I'm gonna go to an island, or I go to a city somewhere safe enough, right? But this was my first time going on an international land trip that didn't require water, you know, like a big city, all of the things. So when I got to Paris, again, I had the jet lag and all of the things, but I felt like I was in like a throwback movie. Everything was like vintage and the cobblestone streets, and it was just like, I couldn't put language to it then because I was just overwhelmed. It was like art everywhere, and it was not just beautiful, it was grimy as well. It was graffiti and homelessness, but I'm just looking, and it was just opulent, you know what I mean? It's just wealth, a lot of wealth. I saw poverty as well, but I saw like abundance and wealth and restaurants galore. Of course, consumerism, because they were catering to tourists, all of the things. But I also like, even when the people were like mean and rude, it's like the language sound like poetry. And it was books, and they're selling books on the street. Like, why are they selling books on the street like they're selling mixtapes? So even the food, it's restaurants everywhere. Like, okay, I didn't know what to eat or whatever, even though I did some good research. But when I got there, I was like overwhelmed, because it's cafes and restaurants. It's like, you don't have to drive far. You can walk right there to get whatever you want. So even something as simple as like a croissant, right? I'm like, I bake, and it's like, I don't necessarily have to have a croissant. I'm over bread, but it's like, how do you go to Paris and don't eat a croissant or pain chocolates, a chocolate croissant? Y'all see me playing with my French a little bit. But anyway, I finally even ate a croissant, and I'm like, well, it looked hard, and it's not an American croissant. When I say that little simple pastry, when I bit into it, everything that I ate, I had to close my eyes. I was not prepared for having to close my eyes and be present and just take it all in, right? My senses were heightened. So I just felt a way, and then it's like, after about 2 or 3 days, I was by myself. I had nobody with me. I was not on a secret rendezvous, but I felt like, look, baby, I was having a love affair with myself, but I felt a way, right? Like, just walking to the store to grab flowers and bread and wine or whatever, and took it back to the Airbnb I was staying in. I had like a little terrace picnic, and it's like, this is everyday life. This is not self-care, self-love. It's like, this is a way of life here. Again, I know they have all of the reality is, there's some areas you can romanticize, and then there's areas you have to keep your head on a swivel. But anyway, I'm talking about emotion. So follow me. I'm telling this story for a reason, because that's why I came out here this morning in the woods for my Sunday musing, right? Because this is what my soul loves, right? But anyway, when I came home, like, I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, was I repression or suppression? Because it's like, I became more flirty, and I'm looking, because I was like, okay, I'm not wanting to date these days and all of the things. And it's like, I came back like, what the heck is going on? So I Googled. I was like, why does Paris have such a sensual vibe? I believe that because like transportation, I believe that every city or country or place you go have their own rhythm, or like a hypnotic rhythm or personality, and Paris definitely has a vibe or a personality to it, right? So I Googled that, like, and I put sensual because that's how I was feeling. Look, I'm a whole woman, so we grown here in this community, right? So I'm like, why does Paris have such a sensual vibe? And all of these articles came up, and one was like, Paris is known for the city of love, and they went through the history of like all of the love and the war, the art, the food, and how pleasure in Paris is it's regular. You know what I mean? It's not demonized. It's like, no, it's a way of life. I don't know any other way to put it. You know how we have to do things for self-care, and we have to go out and we have to do some dilly-dallying and all of the things for our mental health because of this country. There, it's just a way of life. And I even seen one lady was like, yeah, we sit in cafes and we eat bread and we talk about the bills we have to pay. You see, we sit and we scroll and we vent online, and we're angry and crashing out in traffic about the same things that they're having the same types of problems, but because they are creatively engaged in life, it shows up different. Y'all, all of that matters. So emotions, that's where I'm going with this, right? So anyway, the Paris thing, it's like, okay, when you think of sensual, one of the articles was like, it's not sensual in a sexual way only, it's sensual in all of your senses are engaged, like what you're seeing, the architecture, the art, the history, what you're smelling. And it doesn't smell great everywhere, but I mean, oh my God, have you smelled some real French soap? Oh my God. Yeah, I bought some, so I'm trying to keep that essence. Or the food, it's like, it's an experience, right? What is it? A gastronomy experience, and all of your senses are engaged. So I never view the word sensual as sensory engagement. I always view the word sensual as sexual. So you see, you learn something new every day. So again, I've been in that place of, I want to live, and I don't want to suppress my emotions. So suppression is to consciously put something to the side or push it down, and repressive is subconscious. So you don't even know that you're repressing something. So those words are two and the same. But I'm in a space that I don't want to live in suppression or repression. Yeah, those are the two words. So anyway, for some reason, it's like, I'll say triggered, or I get passionate when I hear someone trying to shut down your emotions for the sake of argument. Well, you can't put your emotions in it. Why not? I love my emotions. I love that I can express myself. If I'm feeling a certain way and it made me feel a certain way, I love that I can articulate that, and I'm not just walking around stoic, holding things to myself because I don't want to offend when you probably have offended me, or that injustice have offended. It's like the Bible again says, be angry but sin not. Or be in joy. Like, you almost even have to hide joy sometimes. Like, we live in a weird upside down world, like the Stranger Things. Like, the things that are right are now being celebrated as wrong, and the things that are wrong are being celebrated as right. I don't want to be a robot. What's one of the French sayings that I read in the book that I'm reading? I don't know if I mentioned it in this video, but Black Girl in Paris, I think I said that. Someone gave me that book 15 years ago when I was talking about Paris, and I never finished it. And my trip back, I went and I reordered that book, and it's like, wow, I can relate. But one of the quotes in that book is, "Il faut vivre no pas seulement exister." I know that probably sounds Spanish, but it's my French. I'm working on it. But it means, "Il faut vivre no pas seulement exister." It means something like, one must live and not merely exist. And to live is to feel. To live is to express your emotions. Again, you use wisdom and you use some discernment, but yeah, it's like, oh, I'm out. Look, bloopers. It's not really bloopers. I'm literally out here in the woods, so I see some deer over there. I know they won't bother me, but I'm like, okay. I'm a nature girl, but I don't like those big animals. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to suppress my emotions, and I don't want to be around anyone who demonize them. Emotions are not weak. Emotions are your superpower, right? They're your superpower, especially when you can, I'm not going to even say compartmentalize them, but when you recognize what they are and you don't let them control you, you become one with them, right? What's the book, another book that I love, Women Who Run with Wolves. Remember, the wolves used to chase you, and you used to be afraid. And the wolf can represent like that, those shadow sides, those things that control you. But the woman who runs with wolves, she does that deep work to know thyself. And now that thing that's a part of who she is, that some of that dark side or whatever those things are that may have been demonized, that's a part of you naturally, she learns how to balance those things out, to not cage it, to not suppress it, to not repress it, but to use it for her advantage or his advantage. But I'm talking about this particular book. That's why I'm saying her, because it's the woman who runs with wolves. But yeah, that's what I really want to talk about this morning. Emotions. Like, stop demonizing emotions. Like, if you try to shut me up by saying something about you got to get out of your emotions, oh, your ego will be crushed, because I'm like, I absolutely love my emotions. Like, they're my superpower. So yeah, I'm about to go get me something to eat. Thanks for listening to me today. This is So Loveth with Shan.